Okay, guys, that's it. 6 PM. Let's go. Audio's on. Okay, yeah, but always Riot doesn't give us the audio. Okay, the Grand Plaza, 3 mana, but also the quality is pretty horrible. Landmark, when a Lally is summoned, give it +1/+1 and challenge her this round. Wow. Like, they waited a lot of time for the Demacia one, but this seems kinda great, really. But yeah, more thoughts later on. Let's first see all of them. The Grand Plaza. Like, this is for sure the thumbnail. Okay, wow. 8 mana, 6/6, spell shield. Play, capture a unit or landmark. That's pretty great. That's very, very interesting. Also an elite, by the way. Captain Arika. Kinda strong. Yeah, let's continue. Let's see all of them. Evershade Stalker. So, an ephemeral, so a bit of ephemeral support. Fearsome, can't block. 2 mana, 2/2. Nightfall, create a copy of me in hand. That's interesting. That's basically an attacker every round. Yeah, if you can activate the Nightfall. Also kinda interesting that they are merging ephemeral and Nightfall together. But more on that later. Pesky Spectre. 0 mana, 1/1 ephemeral, again, so finally ephemeral support. Last breath, create 2 copies of me in the enemy deck. Ah, that hurts. That's kinda interesting. Basically, yeah, making some bad draws to your opponent. I don't know if that will be useful or not. Like, maybe you can create a lot of copies of these, make a meme deck, but probably that's it. So, really not that much of a support to the ephemeral. Okay, Targon, 5 mana, Moonlight Affliction, burst, silence 2 enemy units this round, Nightfall, they can't block this round. That's pretty interesting, really. And also I love the fact that they can interact with so much stuff on Targon, Nightfall, Daybreak. This could be actually pretty strong. It's a bit expensive, for sure, but like even silencing. Like, now you have to consider if you want to go for Ash or Moonlight Affliction. Like, Moonlight Affliction could even be like a finisher, because if you can activate the Nightfall, you are basically going for the open attack without any blocker. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting card to talk about. But again, we're gonna see them later in more detail. Okay, Solaris Sunforger. 4 mana, 5/4, Daybreak, give me lifesteal this round. Okay, that's fine. More Daybreak. This is probably the Daybreak that you want if you don't draw Leona, you know? So like the 4-drop that you need when Leona is not there. Also, it's kinda nice to have an additional Daybreak on the early rounds, because sometimes it is hard to level up Leona just because there's not so many Daybreak cards on the early game. That one is the Weasel in Hearthstone. Yeah, exactly. That one is basically the Weasel in Hearthstone, but double the effect, if I can remember it. And the Weasel is not ephemeral. But yeah, so let's continue. Oh, Targon Peak, finally. The landmark. Another landmark. That's interesting. Why are they doing this? Double landmark for Targon. And probably there are some regions which don't have the landmark. Probably, what is it? No, probably right now they all have them. But yeah, so like double landmark for Targon. But yeah, 5 mana. Landmark, round start, reduce the cost of a random card in each player's hand to 0 this round. Ooh, I don't know if I like that. Like, that's pretty RNG. Of course, like, if you want to have huge stuff, this basically cheats out a lot of stuff. Like, you can build a pretty expensive deck. Like, imagine casting Aurelion Sol on turn 6. Like, I don't really know of a random card, by the way, so not even a unit, so it is not like, it's pretty hard to control. Like, you can ramp into this, then play Targon's Peak, and then turn 6 Aurelion Sol. Like, at that point, if you're up against an aggro deck, you're pretty much dead. But this is kinda interesting. Unfortunately, that's random. So, okay, now we have seen all of them, let's, like, talk about them a bit more. So, like, the Grand Plaza, when an ally is summoned, give it +1/+1 and challenger this round. So, of course, whatever has, like, strike effects, it's pretty great with challenger. So like, what do you want to play after turn 4? So like, on the background, I'll just, since I have already Legends of Runeterra open, so let me just see what Demacia would want to cast on turn 4. I know that you guys can see it, but it doesn't really matter. So like, because you go turn 3, you go these, and then what do you want to cast on turn 4? Which is great. Well, and I wonder if it is summoned or... what is it? But only summoned. That's important. It's summoned. So like, imagine going into Grizzled Ranger. Like Grizzled Ranger Scout, you remove something. What? That's insane, guys. This plus Grizzled Ranger is completely OP. You go for the Grand Plaza, then you go for Grizzled Ranger, which basically becomes a 4-2 with Challenger and Scout. You remove something, then it immediately creates the Loyal Badger Bear, a 4-5 with Challenger again, so that you can attack with it again and remove something else, and immediately, because the Grizzled Ranger was a Scout. So like, this is pretty strong. Very strong. I don't know if just for this, the Grand Plaza could be put in a Scout deck. Just for this reason. Very, very strong. Of course, also the +1/+1 could be great with like a lot of summoning effects. Like, imagine these in a Shadows Islands with Lucian and stuff like that, so that you can attack with the Challenger, make them block, then Lucian attacks later on, and he could go for the double attack on the face. Like, for example, you go for the 2 mana summon 3/1/1s. They have +1/+1, so they're basically 3 2/2s with Challenger and Ephemeral. They activate Lucian, basically, and they basically remove every blocker, and Lucian gets in. Like, that's completely insane. Like, there are a lot of combo potentials for this card. But then, yeah, probably the biggest that comes to mind are, of course, wide summonings. So like Demacia Shadows Islands with Lucian and probably Kalista and Ephemerals. And also like the very huge combo with Grizzled Ranger, which could like make this card be playable in a Scout deck. But that's more like iffy. So yeah, like, if you guys don't have any other like ideas with this card, I probably think that that's it. That's what this card is for. Do you guys have any ideas? By the way, let's continue. If you have any ideas, I will return back. But yeah, Captain Arika now. Oh, it's pretty costly. It has Spell Shield, and it says capture a unit. It's a fast speed ability, so it can be countered. But yeah, like, I like a lot the fact that she has Spell Shield. If she didn't have Spell Shield, then this would have been pretty much a tempo loss. Not like a tempo loss, but I mean like too counterable. Like, you play Captain Arika, they just go Vengeance or Ruination or whatever, and yeah, you killed a 6/6, and you also get back the unit. But yeah, like, the Spell Shield makes it so like it is a pretty threatening body, which removes a unit as well. So it is basically the Vengeance of Demacia, not as a spell, as a unit, which is pretty fitting for the Demacia team. But then, like, you don't really want to attack with this. Like, it depends on what you capture. Like, I wonder also, like, if you capture Starspring, does the Starspring resets? So, like, yeah, they should like, cover that interaction out. But yeah. So, like, I'm seeing that the stream is lagging. Is it? Is it lagging, guys? Doesn't seem so. That's strange. I don't know why the Streamlabs is saying that. Is it lagging? Okay, so let's continue if no one says so. But yeah, so this basically, like, I don't know if it's pretty expensive, so I don't know if that will be a dead sentence for this card. But if not, I kind of like it. Like, I don't know where this could fit. Probably like in a control deck with Demacia. Probably Aurelion Soul, Targon, Demacia. Probably with like either Lux Leona or Aurelion Soul Leona with Demacia strikes and this big unit. Like that could work. But yeah, so pretty interesting card anyway. Okay, now the Evershade Stalker. Nightfall, create a copy of me in hand. It is not an exact copy, by the way, so basically you always will have a 2-2 with Fearsome. It is, by the way, a pretty cheap Nightfall unit, which could help to level up Nocturne. And it also has Fearsome. Like, with this you will always, like, have a Nightfall unit to attack with, and you want to attack with it. But, like, is it worthy to spend 2 mana per turn to always play a 2-2 which then dies? Like, probably not. And it is also an epic, by the way. Why? It is not such an interesting effect to, like, justify the epic tier, whatever. But so yeah, like, I'm not a big fan of this card. Like, I don't see any applications to this. Like, yeah, it doesn't seem really strong. Probably I'm misjudging it, but I don't really like all that much. It also can't block, so really you can't use it as a way to not let your opponent attack, you know, because they are attacking into a kinda... I like the infinite side of these. Probably like if you want to always activate Nightfall for whatever reason. Probably with Diana, but Diana is already kinda easy to level up. So like, yeah, I don't really like this card. I don't see any use for this. Probably I'm wrong, but... Then, Becky Spectre. So it is a 0 mana 1-1, which can be interesting. Like in a very, very aggro deck. It could matter that you start with all those ephemerals. Like, imagine going for Kalista and triple of these in the same turn. You level up Kalista immediately. Like, there are like some insane RNG moments there. But like, most of the times, you could, if you want infinite, just play Messenger Lord. Yeah, exactly. There are better ways to go infinite. Instead, yeah, like, Pesky Spectre. I don't know, like, you could build a dedicated deck which generates a lot of copies of these and basically make your opponent unable to draw. That's basically the idea of this card. But like, is it that meta? Like, probably not. Like, yeah, like, this is a pretty fun meme card. I could probably experiment with it a bit just for fun when I reach Master, so I don't lose any LP. But yeah, other than that, seems kind of wasted. Like, not that much interesting. Like, sorry for that. They could have used this, like, they printed an ephemeral that could have been like what the ephemeral needed, and instead they went for the meme direction with both cards basically. So like, I don't know if they are trolling us or whatever, but like, yeah, probably ephemeral won't ever be a thing. I don't know. Then Moonlight Affliction. This is very, very interesting. Like, really, like, silencing. Like, remember when Ash was like, what it was, 3 mana. 3 mana silence a unit, but you could repeat it. Then this is basically an Ash costing 1 less, doubled, you know? Like, this is a double Ash, which costs 1 less than a double Ash. And also, this does more, because they can't block this round. Which is also a finisher for aggro decks. So like, I wonder if this goes into Nightfall, really. Probably yes. Like, I could see this as a 1 or 2 off in a Nightfall deck. I would probably put it. So like, yeah, really, not much to say here. Like, a pretty strong card. Silences stuff can be great against what's the name? The the Devil Endure, stuff like that. So like, yeah, kind of feel like this card will be competitive in some sort. Like not a 3 copies of in any deck, but like in a Nightfall deck for sure. Like I could see this be a thing. Then Solaris Unforger, give me lifesteal this round. Like I don't like it that much. If this was a 4-5, that would have been much better in my opinion. Because like looks like a great finisher, being burst is amazing. Ah yeah, the card before. Yeah. Pretty strong. Pretty strong. Looks yeah, very great finisher. That's what it is. Instead now for the Solaris Unforger, like if this was a 4-5, it would have been much harder to kill. Like a lot of 3 drops can kill this, or any like 4 drops also. Like there are not of 4 drops in the meta, really. But like currently there are a lot of 3 drops with 4 attack, like the Samp Dredger, what it was, yeah, and the Champ Womp, you know. So like a lot of stuff can trade into this, and also the lifesteal, like I don't know, this could be put in a Daybreak deck because it is okay, it is a Daybreak activator, but just as a support for the Leona archetype, because you want to level her up faster, or you want to cast more Daybreaks. But like for the lifesteal in itself, I don't really know if this is a desirable effect. And also it is only for this round, you know? Like probably if it was a Grant lifesteal, it could have been too oppressive. Like because if you look at it, it is basically an almost Radiant Guardian, which costs 1 less. Like on retrospect, like this card seems pretty solid against aggro. Like if you slap this down, aggro is pretty much screwed. Like, or even burn. So like even if you manage to kill this, and also the 4 health is still very important. Like if this was a 5-3, then this would have been completely dead. But since it is a 5-4, then it basically means that it can't really be removed. So that's pretty interesting to note. But then yeah, like if they are aggro and you trade into a 3-3 and you heal 5, that's pretty huge for aggro. So like this could be, depending on the meta, a great addition. If you like see that aggro is a thing, then this could see play. Like because really, if you think about it, it is basically a Radiant Guardian, which is pretty much with no condition. Like or maybe the condition of the Radiant Guardian is much more difficult to cast. But also the Solaris Unforger probably wants to be played on attack, so that you can immediately gain the lifesteal effect. But other than that, yeah, feels pretty great. Like you could also see it like a removal with shields, because you basically attack with this, and you either deal 5 damage to the Nexus, or you remove something, because they block, but you heal 5. So like this is in a control deck, a slower deck, could be great. It is basically a Radiant Guardian, which is a bit cheaper, has a different condition, and it is only temporary. But yeah, kinda that's okay. Like not an insane card, but it is okay. It is good. And then we see this is pretty much a huge thing. Like Targon's Peak, it's very interesting. I don't like the RNG nature. Like now you're gonna probably know me better the more and more we interact together. But really I dislike so much RNG for a lot of reasons. But so yeah, this is usually RNG. Like I don't know where this would be played. Probably in a very big deck, of course, where you want to cheat stuff out. Probably also ramp, because you want to ramp into this. So yeah, like a good addition to control. Probably better than the what is it? Like the Holding Abyss, the 7 mana stuff. You also have to keep in mind that this reduces the cost of also your opponent's stuff. So like if you are in the control mirror, like it is basically a coin flip, or if you win or if you lose, you know. But against aggro or even mid range, that's pretty strong. Because yeah, on average you're gonna gain more mana than more mana on board than your opponent is. So like, yeah, this could be interesting. If your deck is much greedy, then your opponent is gonna be good, but probably not top tier. Yeah, of course not top tier, because it is too random. Just for ramp big minions, yeah, exactly. It's basically a ramping free big minions for free. But also, like, you still get the same problems that a ramp decks has in nature, you know? Like, you don't have any early game. Like, and with this restriction to the deck building, even more. Like, you can't put anything on the early turns. Like, with this, you probably just go... You start with an Avalanche. That's it. You start with a 4-cost card. Then you Catalyst of Eons. Basically, you have to really mulligan for Avalanche or Catalyst of Eons, which you play on turn 3. Both of them. And then if you went for Catalyst of Eons, you play Targon's Peak. Or another 5-drop. Like, your units start at 5-drop. Probably like Trundle. So like this is a Trundle Arion Soul, which wants to be even more into ramp and stuff. So yeah, like this was the last card, right? Okay, so we've seen all of them. Let me just stop the recording.